Welcome back to Day 7 of the Gears Pro League Match of the Week coming up. It's going to be a good one to determine who takes first place. I say take, Rebels already there. Can they hold on, or Pittsburgh Knights dethrone them? A lot to be answered in that series. It's going to be underway shortly. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. Of course, we'll be here all night for you guys. But Blaze, this series is going to be a good one. Two Latin American teams, the best Latin American teams facing off.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a great one, man. We got a chance to see this match during a Pro League last split. It wasn't as good as we wanted.
No, it was not.
But this time around, we have that chance with Rebel being #1 seeded in Pro League, and they don't play each other as early on as they did in Pro League before. This is the last week that we have here, so I'm expecting both these teams to be playing at their best, and Rebel to put up more of a fight than they did the last time around.
I hope they do. You know, this is the best Rebel we've seen as of yet. We talked, or I think we made a content piece like week 2, week 3, something like that. I think it was showcased, but we showcased it last week, and we said, you know, is Rebel truly a #1 team? And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't convinced. I really wasn't. But they've at least shown so far that yeah, they do deserve the #1 spot. They've been playing incredible, and they continue to get better. They're finally coming together and being that team that we expected and wanted them to be. But there's two players on both rosters that truly do a great job, and that's Identivez and Dezo. And these guys have some history, Blaze.
Yeah, they definitely do got some history between each other. You know, they used to be, you know, blood brothers in a sense. You know, Gears of War duo, the two together in some of the early days of Gears of War for UE. You can probably even date them back towards the Resurrection K days back in Gears of War 3. They've been around a long time. And when you talk about Kings of LATAM, you talk about these two players here. May even add Choche to the mix. May add Monkyz there as well. But hey, these two are the cream of the crop. And when it comes down to the statistics, I think both of them are playing well. Their KDAs are over 2.0. The plus and minus, they're within 5 placings of each other. Dezo's percentage of team kills, though, at 22nd. But that could just showcase more of just how PK's play style is being together.
Right.
That wolf packing. His average assist and true engagement success is in the top 5 in both categories. So Dezo definitely beating Identivez when it comes down to the statistics, but this is going to come down to who is the best squad today.
That's true. Well, I do want to point out Identivez has been running more of the solo, spot, those 1v spots, especially on Foundation. He's the one who's going for the overextension. One of the reasons why they were able to beat Rise, a little bit ago was Identivez was just punishing rushies in that 1v spot on Foundation. So that could be an answer as to why his engagements, at least for team-wise, is a little bit lower than that of Dezo. But fair enough, 2 different roles, but pretty much neck and neck. And Blood Brothers was genuinely the best way to put it. At one point, I was told that it was literally an honor to be on a team with Identivez and Dezo if you are from Latin America, but split up. Now the fan base is split up, and who do they support, or at least who are they going to support tonight? We'll get to that in just a second, but let's run into our maps, our pick and bans, Blaze. See what we're rolling with. Is Foundation there? Yes, it is. Rebel and Foundation, like peanut butter and jelly. It just goes together, brother. They play that so well. And again, Identivez is key for that 1v spot. But of course, I'm giving him a lot of praise. Demon tears it up on that map too.
Yeah, and Rebel's going to get the advantages by picking 2 maps in this cycle. So no training grounds or Vascar for PK to work with. Also, PK didn't want to deal with Harbor. They know that Rebel is going to be talented on that map as well. So Foundation, Asylum, District being a map cycle here. Ooh wee, man. I see multiple long shots going down. I see maybe an M-bar here and there.
Craziness.
But, when it comes down to these long range engagements, I think Demon's going to be in full form today. But is that going to be enough to take down a PK squad? He's going to need some help.
You called that long shot last night the skull cracker? I think shell cracker. I can't say
shell
it, man.
Cracker in the hands of Krabbies.
Yeah, jeez, couldn't get that one. It's like a tongue twister. I don't even know why, but 100%, man. The wig split, I like to call it. Hey, those things are going to be going down. This is going to be a bloodbath, and it always is when you have 2 Latin American teams. We always talk about when Fire and Ice plays against Pittsburgh Knights. Pittsburgh Knights can handle their business against anybody, but when they go against Fire and Ice, it becomes that much more personal. And it's the same thing when Rebel, another another Latin American team enters into the scene and, wants to battle against Pittsburgh Knights, it's going to be a good one. And anything can truthfully happen. That map rotation looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie, for the boys of Rebel. So Pittsburgh Knights might have their hands full here. We'll definitely find out. But where does our allegiance lies, Blaze? Who are we going to end up going with? And for chat, I'm genuinely curious because you have two Latin American teams facing. Who do they go with? Because they love Latin America. But for me, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going with Pittsburgh Knights. Yeah, Rebels in first place. Much respect to them. They're an incredible roster. They can take this series without question. But for me, Pittsburgh Knights has always been on a different level. And even though Rebel has, been locking in the first place spot, fair enough to them. But now they're running into a much different beast. And if you look at the matches they've had, okay, you could give a lot of excuses as to why they're here. Pittsburgh Knights, though, has been through the gauntlet. They continue to go through the gauntlet. They're not worried, and they've been quickly rising up through the ranks. I think they're going to take the series tonight. But who are you going with, Blaze?
Last season, Rebel hit a lot of series, and honestly, I bet against them most of those series, and they kind of made me look crazy on some of them. So this time around, I got a lot of respect for Rebel in first place, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
You're going Rebel?
They are the first place team in our league. They have been playing fantastic. They have a better identity this season than they had the last. And, I'm not going to bet against the first place team here. Even though we're going against Seeds 1 and I think Seed 2 currently in the league, I'm Team Rebel when it comes down to this series for them to do something that we're not expecting them to do.
Wow, so you're going Rebel. That actually shocks me. I thought across the board it'd be Pittsburgh Knights, not going to lie, because it's PK. And you see how strong they have been, but I get your points. Going with the first place team, Blaze, makes a lot of sense. You don't want to bet against number one. I do have a question, though. Did you bet against Noble when they were number one in Pro League last phase?
No.
You didn't bet against them?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then I guess that wasn't an argument that worked in my favor.
And then when Hive came through, and Hive was in number one, and they were protecting their first place spot, I went with Hive as well.
Okay, so you just number one.
I want to see consistency in those number one teams, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they have proven that they are the best teams in the league, and it's not just because for any other excuse that we can think of, because I'm not making excuses for anybody today. Rebel, you want to be the best? You want to be number one? Well, hell, you got it now. Keep it. I got faith in you. Do it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that argument totally didn't work in my favor. I expected you to say yeah at least once, but you didn't. You're smarter than me, man. You're smarter than me, so it makes me nervous. Chat, who are you going with? You going PK, you going with Rebel? To be quite honest with you, I wouldn't blame you for any direction you go with. Both are solid choices, and anyone can win tonight. And this is going to be a fun one, especially if they meet up in the spring major, which is a very good possibility. But chat, who are you going with? Let me know. PK, Rebel? You're going PK. Okay, for some reason I saw Rebel there. My eyes are confusing me, man. They're playing tricks on me, Blaze. I was like, whoa, okay, but PK. What? By the way, production. What was the percentage at? I just want to know. Was it neck and neck? Was it a little bit even? Was PK leading the chart? 75-25. So 75 went with PK, 25 went with Rebel. So definitely Rebel. People were expecting them to lose this aside from that 25% in you, Blaze. So fair enough, but you give good arguments. You truthfully do. But let's talk a little bit more other than just being in first place. You take that out of account. You have Rebel going against Pittsburgh Knights. When you look at it that way, what are some key factors for Rebel that, other than just first place, gives them the edge over Pittsburgh Knights, Blaze?
Well, I think what's going to give them the edge outside of, because first place is first place, and I want to say they have that first place because they play one extra game over the side of the Knights, because both squads, one squad is 6-1, one squad is 5-1. But as far as play styles, I'm putting a lot of hope in Demon and Kardia for this one. Okay, Demon and Kardia working together in some of these 2v positions, especially Foundation to kick it off. They'll be playing over towards Statue in that first half home lane between Mario and Luigi. I'm expecting them to go and really have a dominance there on that side of the map. We watched them win a 3v4 last week without Identivez on their squad. So
that was crazy.
I'm hoping that this week we don't have any connection issues. They're here to give it their all. They want some revenge from the last time they played, because this can be a close series. We haven't even I haven't even mentioned anything about Crack yet. And Crack could honestly be playing better than Demon on this team. I think he's definitely playing his second best. But Crack, he's doing more than just rocking out with the power weapons and being a front spine. He has a deeper role on his squad, covering lanes, fighting big 1v1s, and making sure that he can put themselves in a position to get these trip cap dominations.
Well, that's a good point you bring up. I think across the board, everybody's doing their job and doing their part. And that's something that Rebel is thriving on. You know, there's certain teams that, you know, they have one player that's not as strong. I'm not going to bring up the teams. I'm not going to mention individuals. It's just no reason to bring it up at this point. But I think across the board, Rebel is definitely looking solid. If they, I will say this for the narrative going in to the spring major. Even if, let's say, Rebel does drop down and doesn't maintain first place, getting the win here tonight against Pittsburgh Knights would absolutely raise their stock and raise the talking points heading into the spring major. This would mean a lot if Rebel beats Pittsburgh Knights. And you talk about the storylines, Blaze. The storylines would be insane if Rebel gets this victory, and they would go from a questionable first place to an absolute first place position where you can't deny it. You really can't. If they win tonight, they are undeniably the best Latin American team currently in the scene.
100%, without a doubt. This is what that series would do for them. And you know what? When it comes down to that 75% versus 25% in the vote, they win this one the next time around. That may be a 50-50 vote. They may get some of their fans back over here. You see some Rebels team skins out there more than PK. So we'll see what happens as we're kicking this one off with Demon. And he's going to be playing against Dezonide in most of these positions on his side of the map, finding a prime opportunity to get through mid-map, get some more map and positioning, but he's going to have to hold this as he looking like he wants to take out Dezonide. Great aggression from him. His teammate's going to be able to take out Sumuns, and that's an initial one by Rebel. Let's see what they can do with it.
Demon backs up, or at least pushes into Raver, I should say. He's got help. Now, Demon loves this middle position. You're going to see him consistently, specifically on the first half. Maybe if there's a power weapon placed down naturally, he's going to fight Statue. But you're going to see him consistently fighting that mid position and then transferring down to Pistons. He's a dominant force. It's something E United does such a great job on, and it really, truthfully works. It looks like Demon is going to clean up Dezo and Sumuns, and is that a domination? Yes, it is, and Demon already flexing on the competition.
Yeah, and you know, that was a beautiful play from him and his teammate working together down low inside Pistons. Demon uses his right hand advantage to get in towards mid-map and just put himself in a better spot to trap those PK members. When he takes that forward positioning, he either forces them to make a crazy push across Pistons to get that player in the back, or he forces them to back up through welding, right? Go back up the ramp, try to rotate around, or on the third try is somebody from PK goes through mid-map and meets him there, but that player has the 1v1 when we're spread out like that. So we are going to see the same initial this round. We'll see what changes, and I'm pretty sure Dezonide is going to try to take that position this time around.
Demon sitting where he's comfortable, actually going Pistons this time.
Moves. Oh, it's going to be the smoke. Yeah, get the smoke out.
So Crack is now up. Demon's going in. He's going to transfer mid where he's comfortable going. He might double back, though. And so I'm curious if Sumuns and Dezo picks up on this, but Demon is gone. It's going to be great for PK now to get the break and the full cap, and they do. Crack is forced off of H to go up ramp, back towards his own spawn, but in hot pursuit is going to be Dezo. Dezo is not going to allow him to live any longer. He takes him down, and PK, if they play their cards right, could get a domination, much the same way Rebel just got a domination earlier.
It definitely could. Identivez gets taken out. Now PK will be on Rebel's side of the map. You see how far in the spawn they're taking these engagements. With that player coming off the respawn, it does like PK is going to get a trip cap domination this round. Both teams trading off the swarm spawn of the map. So far, so good for him. Now, when Demon went towards mid-map in that last round, he did the exact same play. I felt like if he stayed in that corner, he could have gotten his health regen back. But with the smoke being there at Piston's door, I think he was scared that Dezonide was going to possibly go through Rap Shot and take him out. But when he went towards the opposite end, towards his side of the map, he put himself in a position to take free shots coming in through the middle. I think that's Raver's playing that position, and Raver was able to get the shots needed for Sumuns to get that down initially. But you know, that's a difficult spot to play. So we'll see how it gets adjusted going into this round.
The retros now down. That's going to be a useful thing for not only Monkyz, but you know, Kardia on the other side. They'll be able to utilize that. Demon going mid this time instead of down into Pistons directly. Of course, he will transfer over, but Sumuns might be able to out-angle him, and Dezo as well. For some reason, I feel Demon might have a good spot. Yeah, lots of damage. He's going to double back onto Raver. And see, Demons is that flex player, that playmaker, but unfortunately shut down. And that is huge for Pittsburgh Knights. Anytime you take Demon out of that mid spot, now you take control for yourself. That puts a lot of added pressure on whoever's in Pistons, and you can tell Rebel is starting to collapse, and Pittsburgh Knights will get a domination here.
My question, I got two questions, and question number one is, you know, when Demons have pushed Raver mid-map, you saw he got that beautiful spread on him, right? But that's Identiv's guy. Where was Identiv in that fight? I think we saw that he was backed up and possibly helping out Kardia on the other end of the map. But if he had a Lancer on Raver when Demon tried to make that push and they kind of coordinated that, they could have got a first blood there. On the flip end, when Sumuns took all that Lancer damage, Sumuns and Dezo at the Pistons portion of the map, that was another prime opportunity for Crack to move up. Okay, as Sumuns was soaking up a lot of that damage, and for possibly him to move up on Pistons and play off of that. I do think the play was Raver mid-map, but we did not see the coordination there for Rebel playing off Demon's damage, because he's going to put out a lot of that.
He definitely is. This is an interesting. Well, so let's see, where is Identivez? What is Identivez? So he's player 9. He's going to be looking mid this time. So normally, again, he is on streets, forcing the issue for the overextension. But for some reason, he has switched positions with Kardia and allows Kardia to play that spot where Identivez is forcing mid, and it's not working. I felt they were playing best when it was Identivez in Kardia's position, and it seems as if it's just not working with the current situation that they have set up.
You know, I think that these are their normal positionings, because Kardia, he plays that home street throughout the entirety of the map. Even when they go towards second half, Demon becomes his duo. Crack has been playing his 1v1 lane throughout most of it as well. So, and Demons is going to be the front spawn player. So their positioning is fine. It just comes down to execution. And you see PK, they're able to pick up 2 members of Rebel on their side of the map, and now it's just a straight line to the home hill. B Hill's getting capped up for the Knights. It's Raver picking up a kill, and now it has to be a 1v2 fight for Identivez, and he can't make it happen. So PK is gonna get 3 rounds.
And I apologize. I totally thought Identivez played that street role, at least going back to my memory when they were playing against Rise, but maybe that was just a one-time thing. Maybe they've switched it up, and that's been, maybe Kardia is there. Maybe you're right. But, man, something's not working. These have been relatively quick rounds. Pittsburgh Knights having their way with Rebel at this point. They've been controlling mid. That's been the biggest thing. Whether it be Demon going down or Identivez, neither are able to hold their ground. And it's not necessarily a fault of their own. They're getting put in consistent 1v2s. The pressure, the wolf packing from Pittsburgh Knights that they're known for is a very real thing. And they're doing it to a T. Long shot placed on Statue. This is where Demon can really excel, especially if he can get his hands on it. But you have to get your hands on it first. Let's see if he's going to be successful in doing so.
All right, so you're going to have Kardia and Demon working together towards this side of the map. That's going to be a duo, and they're fighting up against Monkyz and Dezonide. So we're going to have a lot of action over here. It's 1v1 mid-maps between Identivez and Raver, and then 1v1s on the top portion of the map there with going to be Sumuns and Kardia. Oh, sorry, Sumuns and Crack.
Dezo forced back full red, no worries, still up. At this point, nobody able to get their hands on the long shot just yet. Demon's going to go once again forward as the long shot just ahead of him, and the flames have dissipated. Still, though, he's not comfortable grabbing it. You got Dezo Monkyz, who's going to be able to Lancer him out. Kardia can provide the suppression fire, but either way you look at it, he's not going to be able to connect on both. So one or the other has to commit to taking down a member of Pittsburgh Knights, speaking in regards of Rebel. I don't know what the right answer is. It could be player 8, who is going to be Crack, who can maybe challenge onto Raver, win the mid battle, come up ramp, and then alleviate that pressure. But for the meantime, everybody to stand still, nobody wanting to make a move.
Because the Knights have the lead in this moment, Taylor. So they're like, hey, if you want the scope, you got to go first. Rebel's going to get multiple flashes here. Raver on Raver mid-map for Kardia to get positioning to just move around a little bit more freely, but he didn't have much room to work with because the Knights had focused on him throughout the entire time. Now Raver flanks up middle. Kardia is about to get 2v1. Raver's going to win his battle. That's 3 down on the side of Rebel, and the Knights will be able to pick up the power weapon, and now they're looking to get control of their opponent's home hill.
Good spacing on a Identiv. Sumuns takes him out. Now it's going to be Crack in a tough spot. 1v2. Good bait and switch, though, between Raver and Dezo. Monkyz is also behind, and the pressure on F is real. Sumuns leading the charge. Demon, the only one for Rebel in. He takes down one, not going to be enough. You still have Dezo, who's able to get a touch. Identiv is going to try and push forward, but he's getting Lancered in the front and the back. He drops. And at this point, Rebel is just trying to stay alive, but I think their time has come to an end at this point. Crack can't get there in time, and PK takes a scary 4-1 lead over the current first place team of Rebel. And this is one of the stronger maps for Rebel without question, other than Harbor. Now I'm getting very worried. Pittsburgh Knights is just, they're not being challenged.
Yeah, the Knights are not being challenged right there. They're making these rounds look easy. And we're 1 round away from this first map flying by and on the route to a hot 2-0. Because we are coming up to the Knights map next. And if I am not mistaken, did the Knights pick Training Grounds?
No, the Knights went with Asylum.
Asylum. Okay, Asylum was their second map. All right, cool. So Asylum can play out a lot quicker than Foundation. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And the way the Knights have been winning these individual lanes, because look at how the mini-map's broken down currently in a 1-1-2. That's the same way that Asylum is going to be played in the first half as well. So in these engagements from the 2v2 fights to the 1v1 lanes, the Knights, they have the leg up and they have a way better game plan.
And the pressure is real. Kardia finding that, oh no, doubles back. He knew at that point it was going to be a tough spot, but is that going to be it? Surely not. Yeah, it is. 5-1 victory, record time, 5-1, man. That's tough. Rebel #1, but might not be there for long. Pittsburgh Knights hot on their heels. The map win goes to PK, and that's a big one because Rebel does so well in Foundation. That is a massive, massive victory.
Yeah, that truly is. And, you know, we're seeing 2 squads playing. We see 2 squads here trying to show us that they are the first place team in Gears Esports, that they are the best. And only one of these 2 teams are really showing that to us right now. And, you know, PK saying, hey, you guys played that extra match. You got the first place spot right now, but we are in a different league than you, okay? We have better teamwork. We are quicker. We are more decisive. We're going to be, you could toss up on the power weapons, who can use them better, but PK is not going to allow you to even breathe with a power weapon in your hand based off the pace in which they play. And they know how to apply pressure with the Lancers and the pistols and, you know, playing off players like Raver's aggression and Dezo's aggression. So all of that together, it doesn't matter what power weapons are on the map. They're going to beat you off the initial.
You know, we didn't have a chance to take a deep look at that scoreboard, but I did notice quite a few players. I think that the highest player who had the most eliminations was sitting at 4 eliminations, if I'm not mistaken. Now granted, you know, 5-1, you don't expect anyone to be dropping a 20 bomb, all right, especially if you're on the losing end with the 1 round, but I do believe Kardia was sitting at 1 elimination total across those 6 rounds. And, you know, that hurts because of his positioning. Again, I thought Identivez was 1 on streets. Fair enough, though. I might be mistaken. Could have been just that 1 series versus Rise. But for him to be in the constant 1v1s on streets and to only have 1 kill, it shows he was letting that lane go literally every single round.
I'm gonna give you a different take on that one, Taylor, because that when it comes down to 1v1 players in their lanes, you know, we talked about, you know, some being aggressive, some being more passive, but ultimately at the end of the day, if your teammates lose the main team fight on Foundation, you're a sitting duck. You have to clutch 1v2s, you have to clutch 1v3s, and against this PK squad, that's not easy whatsoever.
No,
so
it's not.
Kardia was leaving it to his teammates in their game plan of them trying to angle out Dezonide or them trying to angle out Raver in the middle of the map. That was the game plan that both these squads have. On the flip end, it was Demon and Identivez being the focus for PK. So that 1v1 lane, yeah, exactly. So he didn't get a lot of kills there, but it doesn't fall solely on his shoulders. His score line is because his teammates dropped the ball in the middle.
Yeah, and we just showed the scoreboard. I mean, I'm not singling out Kardia per se, and you're 100% right. That is a great take, right? Because now he's being, put in a 1v2, 1v3. He's being wolf-packed on. You can't expect him to pick up elimination after elimination and clutch up there. It happens sometimes, but it's up against PK. Come on, it's not a realistic option to happen. But you're right. Demon and Identivez were isolated. By the way, Monkyz went 1 kill, 12 assists with no deaths throughout those 6 rounds. Incredible player. It is. And you know what? You can clearly tell the reason why maybe he didn't die is because he was kind of playing that back role. 12 assists.
And you can clearly tell what he was doing. Against Kardia. Okay. So Monkyz was playing against Kardia. So it just kind of shows how both players were kind of supporting for the team fight down low. But the team fight was winning away at PK. So those assists come through for Monkyz and nothing comes through for Kardia.
Yeah. And big difference maker there, and not to isolate anyone. It's not about that. You already lost 5-1. I'm not here to, dig you into a deeper hole. It is what it is, but tough break. That can't happen. I know it's Pittsburgh Knights. They're a top team, but you're the #1 team. And to lose 5-1 like that, tough break. But you do have map number 2 coming, and there's an interesting talking point where I think it's interesting. Maybe it's not, but hopefully you can make it interesting plays. PK normally picks training grounds. That's kind of their bread and butter. They love that map, but they pick Asylum versus Rebel. Why do you think that is?
Ooh, you know what? After seeing how they won Foundation, it's probably just the easier map for them playing against the side of Rebel. They could have played it in scrims and beat them up a few times and say, hey, okay, yeah, we're feeling really confident in this one, because you have to pick your maps based off match up. All right. Now, there are going to be some maps where you're like, bro, we are the best team in the game at this map and can nobody touch us. Let's just play what we're comfortable at and we'll take on anyone. So you may see some teams, just pick Vascar every time, right? TG, because they know that's their best map. And then they'll choose the next map, which one is best for them in that series. Now, PK says, hey, we know that we could beat them on this map. And this matchup is going to work out fine. And I talked about how the first half of Asylum is played out, how that second half of Foundation was played by both of those 2 teams with the 1-1-2. 1v1 at entrance, 1v1 at pavilion, 2v2 down low at tracks. The terrain is different, but the personnel should be the same. And if it plays out at the same pace it did before, PK should win. Asylum's going to be a smaller map. Raver wins his 1v1s. PK get first blood. It's almost going to be instant domination at the pace and speed in which PK plays. This should be easy map for him. And I know they lost 5. I know they won 5-1 in map number 1, but map number 2 is looking like it may be a 5-0 for them. Okay.
Well, hey, check it out. There are more matches going on currently. It's a full day. We literally had 8 series taking place. Right now, one of the side station matchups, Team Queso versus Hive. Map number 1 was Foundation, and Team Queso wins at 5-4. Team Queso, Blaze, you can't sleep on them. They've been tearing it up. Their teamwork is looking great. I mean, I'm genuinely impressed with those guys.
Yeah, they've been getting better week in and week out. They're our sophomore squad of the Pro League. And they got better from the last split. In that last split, they got better from what they was in the Challenger Series. So
100%,
this Team Queso squad, they've been going back, watching the VODs, making adjustments, playing with a little bit more confidence. And now they're pushing a lot more of these teams to the wire. They may be a dark horse going into the major if they stay at this pace.
Could you imagine how if they just are the great disruptor team? Do I put them in grand finals? No, but I mean, again, you can't sleep on anybody. You really can't. Those underdogs, they pull up and they go big. You even said it, Blaze, during your competitive days, you loved being the underdog.
Oh yeah, man. I love being underdog because, when you play against your opponent, you can almost expect a certain play style out of them, a certain kind of confidence that you can capitalize off of as an underdog. But also, when you're the underdog, you just have to attempt the perfect play. The perfect play may not always come through, But if you're always attempting the perfect play and trying to make the right moves with that confidence, and you can come through with those plays, man. People sleep on the underdog squads, and sometimes that's the best place to be.
Hey, you're right, because like you said, nothing to lose, everything to gain. And man, that makes for a scary person, a scary team, scary collective unit whenever you have everything to gain at that point. Let's get into map number 2, PK's map pick, Asylum. Normally they go for training grounds, but during this matchup, they said, hey, let's take Rebel on Asylum. This is going to be our best option. And as Blaze mentioned, these rounds can go blazingly fast, more so than even on Foundation, but at least off the start, it seems both teams are respecting each other. I think PK more so, because after that 5-1 win, you would expect PK to just push straight into Rebel because they understand they can win these engagements and win these fights, but at the moment, they're just filling them out, seeing what they're up to, but the first utilities are gone, and Sumuns is pressuring Identivez.
Yeah, you see the first flashes go through. PK being the aggressors, they cap the B hill to start. They both take some time. Sumuns comes through to finish off the cap, but he goes down by Kardia. Dezonide is the focus, has 3 players in front of him. He's going to back up just a bit more, going to have some Lancer fire from his teammate, but no one here on the side of Rebel able to decap the B hill. It will come through now, but Dezonide, can he get away with his life? Yes, he will.
Away with his life, but what does he do with it? Demon is being pressured by Monkyz. Monkyz is going to have to double back, force the issue onto Kardia. Kardia, though, able to angle him out and take him out. Rebel maintains that 2-1 to continue closing out that deficit. But I said, what can Dezo do with his life? Well, he's going to capitalize and take down Crack, forcing Identivez back and putting PK back in a power position, which Identivez is quickly looking to retake for himself, but he's going to need some help.
Identivez gets one down, has help behind him, takes the wide right angle, connects with those shots, but PK, they're surviving this engagement. This is a beautiful time to have out a Lancer or a pistol, but Demon says the shotty is gonna do just right, connecting shots to the body. Monkyz backs up towards the spine, and with 3 members of PK going down at the bottom portion of the map, this is going to be a Rebel round 1 win.
Very nice, solid start, and I think through and through, they looked incredible. PK tried to attempt to go down streets, go for the OE. That was done by Monkyz and co, but good reaction from Kardia, stepping up his game from the previous map on Foundation, winning his engagements there, cleaning it up where his teammates ended up falling. And then, of course, Identivez with the help of the Lancer fire and eventually Demon pushing forward, able to put the final nail in the coffin and lock in the domination. Great teamwork. That's what we need to see from Rebel. But on Foundation, they won round 1, but then they stopped there. We need to see them continue to get better and continue to improve and, keep that teamwork up, man. That was exactly what we expect from them.
I see one!
Botox are going to get plays down, picked up by Identivez and Sumuns on the map. We'll see how influential they're going to be in this early game. But similar strategy as we saw beforehand. When the first train came through, we saw PK try to make the first move on a previous round with their flashes. Ultimately, it was Rebel who won the team fight to kick off the round. We'll see if that gets flipped, if it stays the same, or if it's going to be Rebel on the side that maybe want to initiate first. But the flashes are being tossed for PK. Identivez is the focus. Counter flashes return, but PK gets a little bit more map control.
More map controls could set them up quite nicely. Unless Rebel pushes them back. Identivez is doing a great job supporting Kardia to make this push attempt, but Sumuns picks up 1, and Identivez falls as well, and Sumuns takes the fight to B and takes it over. That shouldn't have happened.
Alex Sumuns coming out with the big double kill. So Rebel played that well. When Dezonide went towards mid-map, Rebel knew that they were going to get a 2v1 against Sumuns, but man, talk about one of the best home heal players, one of the best defensive players in the game, one of the best 1v1 players in the game. Whatever accolade you want to give him, Sumuns played that 1v2 textbook, staying alive, using that Botox, and just waiting for help for his teammate, from his teammates, but he even need the help.
Whew. All right, so Sumuns still at the tracks, still holding it down for Pittsburgh Knights, and that's going to be tough. Identivez has dropped. Kardia goes for the pickup, but it's all for naught as the two-piece comes in, and Sumuns not slowing down. He is just playing unbelievably well, and Crack is just running like a chicken with his head cut off. Where does he even go? What does he do? He's getting pressured by Pittsburgh Knights, and Demon, he's by himself, and Crack is gone as well, and that was just a pure freak-out moment.
It truly was, man. Sumuns says, hey, boys, we're not losing this game. They can't take me out, so I know they can't take you guys out. 4 down on the side of Rebel, and it's a team party on top of the home hill as you see PK lock in round number 2. All off the back of Sumuns double kills there.
And those are beautiful because, you know, in that point in time, the way Identivez and Kardia was pressing forward, Identivez laying down the cover fire with the bolt hawk, Kardia getting closer and closer to Sumuns. For Sumuns to pick off that two-piece, in my opinion, that was... it just had to be done perfectly, and Sumuns did it perfectly. Like, there was no other exception other than to handle it perfectly to get that two-piece, because again, with the way Identivez was laying on the cover fire and Kardia pressing forward, that should have been an easy clinical cleanup, but Sumuns found a way to make it his.
Yeah, he truly did. He truly did. Now, as we head here into round number 2, initials are gonna be the same, but PK are set up for as an aggressive kind of defensive stance to start towards the tracks, but player 3 being Cracked, he's forcing respect from Raver in the mid-map, so he's going to get his 1v1 where he wants it, and that's how it works out, because now his teammates did a clean 2v2 on tracks, and we're back to our base strategy. PK has been making the first move every time. They do not wait for Rebel. They know what they want to do. Even if they're switching targets between Identivez and Kardia, they're still going to make this first move.
So you're probably going to see Dezo and Kardia rotate in. Yep, there they go. Just narrowly avoiding the train. But as you said, PK's been making that first move, and you can already tell Sumuns is pushing up, but he actually backs off. They don't want to make that first move.
The last second roll from Dezonide, he's just like, all right, it's like a game of chicken, trying to see if Kardia is going to be able to make it over there with him. Nice shots from Kardia, gets one down. Now at this point, Rebel, they need to play off their numbers, but Sumuns is trying to take the game over once again, but this round he cannot. Luckily for him, Dezonide is still alive on the track. He can slow down these Rebel members. You see extra Lantern fire coming in from screen right as well towards the spawn side. So Dezonide doing great, just making sure no one can get behind him, and his teammate will be with him momentarily to try to decap this B hill.
So Rebel, just a narrow lead. They got to be careful. PK, they're not going to let that phase them whatsoever. Raver winning the engagement in Pavilion is going to be big because now he'll have that cross, but he's not pressing the issue too hard. At this point, Monkyz is, I think, his main priority. If he can break off, take down Crack, and then go for the OE, then he'll trust his players 9 and 6 of Sumuns and Dezo to take over B, which, matter of fact, they're already doing so. Identivez and Kardia are going to back off and allow them to do so, and player 3 might rotate over. That's going to be Crack to maybe help out and assist. There's the cross, and we might see, and yeah, they're going to go ahead and push up, but this could be a bad spot. Now you have player 1 who's in a 1v2. That's Identivez. His teammate backs off, and now player 4 is in a 1v3. That was just a bad prioritization of teamwork.
Yeah, it was. And then now you see how PK can quickly take their numbers advantage. And they do it so fast to the point where you feel like you're playing a 4v5. And that could never feel good at all, feeling like you're playing a man down in a round. But that's something that PK does all too well. And it seems like a repeat from map number 1 as these last 2 rounds, man, PK has really came together on Asylum.
Yeah, they really have. Rebel, I don't know if there's a breakdown in communication and strategy, but I'm not necessarily saying they're playing scared, but I don't know what the, and maybe I'm being too critical. Blaze, let me just throw a question. Once again, that last engagement where Identivez was left by himself, Kardia was with him, but then backed off because the streets push was there. But in my opinion, leaving Identivez by himself on tracks in a 1v2 was not the play to make.
Well, see, that's when I always harp about every player being on the same page of what the perfect play is in that moment. Kardia probably felt like, bro, I need to save the home hill. Like, this fight's washed. And on the flip end, Identivez could have, you know, felt like that was the fight that needs to be won for them to press up and get B. But those are the difficult decisions that have to be made at the drop of a dime for you to come out successful in some of these rounds. And We saw that last round, and we're gonna see it a little bit more throughout the rest of these as well, because it's always happening. But teams like Pittsburgh Knights make it look so easy, and they do it so fast where it's just like, why everybody else can't play like them? Well, they don't understand the game like them.
At this point, Rebel needs to be very careful about not getting Lancered out. Even Boltocked, Monkyz will actually be down. This is going to give an opportunity for Demon to push forward. This is where I think he feels most comfortable, when he's by himself, he's going against the world, and he's forcing PK back. And you can already tell how confidently he moves up. That forces the two members of Pittsburgh Knights of Sumuns and Raver to pressure on tracks as hard as they're doing, and they're going to handle their business. Kardia is full red, he's gone, and they're going to save the round. But now you got Demon, who's still living in the spawn of Pittsburgh Knights and continually clutching up, and Crack is there to help as well. This is going to keep that 2-to-1 hill advantage potentially, but they're going to backtrack and start to pincer in Raver and Sumuns, forcing them in Pavilion. This is a solid play.
Yeah, solid play indeed. Now, can they pull it through, though, is the real question. Demon picks up a kill on Raver, but is quickly traded out there, Taylor. And now, with it being a 3v3 on the map, will Sumuns revive come through? It will not. So, advantage Rebel. They're currently the only team that's getting points. Player 7 on the top portion of the map is going to back up, cap his home heal. But while he does that, Rebel's going to get map control, but they need to hold it. It's still a close game, but because the score is in favor of Rebel, you can assume that this next play coming out PK is about to come out very quickly. Now, the question is, does it happen mid-map or does it happen tracks?
I think it's going to happen tracks. That's kind of been their main thing, and they already know once it happens on tracks, Rebel's going to react and try to force the issue on the OE for streets. But first, the tracks fight has to be won, and it starts with Dezo. He's shut down. That's a great hold for Rebel, a phenomenal hold, especially with double trains coming in. That keeps them at bay, and that forces the men of PK to push forward. But Raver picking up Identivez opens up a little bit of a door, but not too much. Rebel's doing a great job defensively. Pittsburgh Knights off of respawn. They're going to have one final attempt to make this round theirs.
All right, let's see if the Knights can do that. As you see, Dezonide and the Monkyz both going down up top. With those kills coming through, Taylor, it ain't happening in this round. The Knights are just going to have to chalk that one up, start thinking about the second half. Hopefully, these teams have put the placements at those top secondaries to have their shot grenade built up in time. As we are about to get geared up for that entrance fight, Rebel has us all tied up 2-2. So that round, a lot of their success did come from the tracks portion of them winning that fight. So gotta give Identivez a lot of credit for that one.
Yeah, Identivez, and I want to compliment Demon and Crack. Demon opening up the door, getting loose, going through entrance, taking down Monkyz, and then ultimately locking in Gallery for his team, with Crack forcing the issue in PK spawn. And then that ultimately led for them to pincer in the players on tracks, forced them into Pavilion, and they didn't let go of control from that point forward. Demon needs to get loose like that. Again, Demon is comfortable in chaos. He thrives in chaos. He needs to be in those positions and those moments a lot earlier, a lot quicker. Just let him do his thing, and I don't think you can ever do any wrong. Either way, those shocks are in place, and the first one has been thrown, and Rebel is going to have one to answer back, so good on them for baiting it out.
Yeah, they did really good on it. They did a really great job with that one, but their opponent knows that the rebuttal's coming. Now, will PK try to run past this shock? I think that's pretty much suicide if you do that, but you can get at that entrance door, and if you have the support fire, it can work out for you. But my question, I don't know what Rebel is waiting as long as they are to make this play. They know that PK has nothing to counter against them, but maybe they're waiting for a player to get in position, but still, no one is able to get in there to get a foot on top of E. So both shot grenades wasted by each squad.
And that's unfortunate. The value from a shot grenade is tremendous. Rebel having it and baiting out PKs originally, because they had that shock, that should have put them in a spot to capture the neutral and force PK to react. But now it is just a straight up battle once again, a battle of attrition to see who gains control. PK, though, is going to take a stab at it. As you pointed out, they love to be the first ones in the engagement, and Dezo is getting very aggressive, gets out just in time to not only help his team cap a B, but also get packed up to be 3 strong to defend against this Rebel push.
Yeah, PK always has a game plan. And, you know, they know when to play defense and react, and they know when their opponent doesn't have a play or they're playing scared and they can take over the game. One big reason of their success of understanding those two extremes on the map. Now, Dezonide controlling this entrance door, trying to tag up the player's toes there in the corner, but the revives come through, but the kills also come through for Rebel. That's 3 down on the side of PK, and Rebel's in a fantastic position to get this trip cap domination, one that they must acquire.
And it looks like they're well on their way to doing so. Dezo's the only one who can get a touch, and he does. And he does. Rebel backs off. Lancer Fire would have been good there, but hey, if they can at least lock in the domination here, not allow PK to push them back, it's not... Oh, it does happen. I thought Monkyz for sure was going to have a free break, and then one was going to get a touch, and a round would continue, but hey, Rebel played the right move.
They would have got it the first time if that player didn't get the meat shield on Sumuns and he just ran to the heel. Sometimes plays like that lose teams rounds because they didn't understand the perfect play of getting the trip cap domination and the timing of the respawns. It needs to come to a point where you can feel it. Okay, either you got a great IGL who can tell you what's happening, or you played so much Gears of War, you know if you can come away with the trip cap domination or not just by looking at the kill feed and understanding the times of the respawn. So you know, could have got scary, but it didn't. Rebel won the round, but the only reason why I even brought that up is because little opportunities like that get blown every day, and the major's around the corner. So when it comes down to playing perfect, you will go back and look at plays like that on some rounds.
Fair enough. And you know what? You're right. Major is just around the corner. This isn't week 1 of phase 2 split 2. All right. This is getting towards the tail end. Plays like that, you got to think about them twice, especially heading into the major. You don't want to be making mistakes like that when money is on the line, or I should say the big money from the major. But good fight on tracks, at least for the boys of PK. This is going to open up a flank, and Demon should be aware of this. The shock's going to be thrown out, but he's about that player 6. Dezo is going to take him out. Demon doesn't even turn around.
Yeah, he was trying to just focus on the player in front of him to try to get it down across map if he could, but he could not. And PK quickly responds back after that last initial, Taylor, and they're not trying to give this map up whatsoever. They're trying to close it out now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's PK fashion, is it not? Rebel, though, can still fight back. The fact is, it is 3-3. By the way, Identivez 0 kills, 15 assists. He's putting in that work for his team.
Yeah, man. You know, we've seen Identivez go from a main slayer to a support player over some of the last few teams that he's been on. But that does not take away from any of the slaying ability that he has. I think he's just become more of a selfless player than he was in the past. And so
nothing wrong with that either.
And nothing wrong with it whatsoever, especially when you got young superstars like Demon and Crack surrounded around you. I consider Crack more of a vet of the LATAM scene, but Demon is more of one of the newer rookies out there. So let him be your main slayer, and you come through in the clutch when your team needs it.
Different look from PK. You can see the aggression. This is a much more aggressive Pittsburgh Knights from the last round to this round. Rebel can counteract it, though. There's still a player down over at entrance. He's picked back up. And for Identivez, I know he knew that player was there. He wanted to take Raver down, but he just couldn't gain the positioning. The pressure from PK was there with the Lancer Fire. But look at how aggressively they continue to push up. They are not allowing Rebel to breathe whatsoever.
And the shocks and incendiary grenades off the start were really great for PK to be able to protect that player who was at the entrance door. And you see how quickly PK has turned this into a trip cap domination. This is what I was talking about. The rounds will go by quicker on Asylum than they did Foundation. So you got to be able to survive off that initial and keep the round alive. If not, you find yourself in a difficult position that you may not get enough time off respawn to fight back from. So PK, they're feeling good and 1 round away from taking this series 2-0.
2-0. That would be a statement, beating the current #1 team 2-0. And I think more importantly, just, you know, the fact is, not only is it the #1 team currently of Rebel, but it's also another Latin American team. And with North America kind of dominating the numbers per se, right, of the 12 teams total whenever it comes to Pro League, hey, you already know they're few, but they are proud and they are strong. And Pittsburgh Knights wants to show that they are the strongest, especially this close to the major. They've got a point to make. Those shocks are going to be locked out. Potential final round underway, Blaze.
All right, we're seeing a similar initial as the previous round. And this is starting off as a 2-2 because those incendiary grenades need to get picked up and transition to the fight up top. as Rebel is going to be able to get the first capture. Can't dodge the incendiary grenade, so with a man advantage, PK is going to waste no time decapping his heal after they take Identivez off this position on left. And they're going to keep pushing on. Cracklin's a big 1v1 towards mid-map. He comes back up to help Identivez. He gets 3 kills to his name, and now he's the saving grace of Rebel. So this heal should be able to get cacked up, but Crack knows that this is a prime opportunity for a trip cap domination. They can't let these players get behind them. They know that everyone else is going to be up front. Identivez versus Monkyz for control of the E-Hill. He wins that battle, and Rebel can send us to a round number 9.
And that was well played from Rebel, using PK's aggression against them, forcing them into a fatal funnel. You could even tell in that last engagement with Crack, there was one player from Rebel in front, one player in back. I think Crack was the one on the flank, but they isolated and put that player from Pittsburgh Knights in the blender. That's what needed to happen. And sometimes you have to use your opponent's aggression to your favor, because the last 2 rounds, PK with their aggression, hey, they were able to fly through the map pretty much unscathed, uncontested, and Rebel said enough is enough. So for the second time tonight, the M bar will be placed at entrance. The first one was in our first series, Rise versus Noble. But what else are we going to get? Are we going to get 9 shots? Are we going to get something on tracks? Break up that fight. So things are about to get chaotic. The M bar, the long shot. Let's get it going, round 9.
I love this strategy for this map. Split it up, you know, spread the map out a bit. You know, make it a first half initial if you want, make it a second half initial. But on a round number 9, you get the first look. You have to come out with a decent initial that spreads out the map. You can't overstack one portion. If you do want to do that, you have to at least come away with a power weapon. So no team is going to have another round to react at the power weapons that's here. And it seems like PK came out with a better strategy, getting first blood. That should get them to E-Hill and M-Bar. But you see how they're playing for the win right now. They says, yo, we just got to kill. We got it down. We know where the 3rd and the 4th are. Let's try to win this round now.
But a great hold from Crack. Takes down 2 players from Pittsburgh Knights. That is massive. Even though PK gets the decap on D, they know the numbers aren't in their favor. They're going to go ahead and back off and play once the rest of their teammates are up. And that is the fair play to make. Sumuns gets the long shot, but Crack has the M bar. So at this point, Crack is going to be looking for Sumuns. Sumuns is going to be looking for Crack. They're both going to be looking for everybody on the roster, but things are going to be chaotic. But these power weapons truly have the power to open up the door to a retake or a hold.
You know, when it comes down sniper versus M-Bar, you know, I personally feel like the sniper in these scenarios could be more lethal just because you don't have to give up your positioning when you shoot it like you do the M-Bar. And when it comes down 1v1, sniper should be M-Bar just because of the charge time. Now, you see here, Sumuns dodging these bullets, trying to fight his way out of this difficult position. He gets 1, which is all he can ever ask for on that side, on his side of the map, just to take 1 to the grave. Luckily for him, Dezonide has already overextended the map, and Rebel is forced to respect him. So they're going to give up map control pretty much for free here as they're trying to hunt down these kills on their side.
Raver makes that push 100% of the time if Dezo stays alive. Because Dezo dropped off, he's going to back off. But Rebel does have the manpower, and they are making a good attempt at pushing PK back. This constant pressure is great. And Crack from the flank picks up 1. Can he get a second? Monkyz in the corner. Demon will clean him up, but Crack is back in the fight. 4 or 3 strong for Rebel. Continues to pressure 4. Dezo's out of the way. 4 gone. And I think Rebel just did it in round 9.
They're backing up, though. They're backing up, and they're going to give PK one more opportunity at winning this engagement, Taylor. It's coming down to the wire. It's really, like I've said before, it's anybody's game. New sniper and M-Bar come up soon, but it's not going to make a difference, folks. As Rebel, here in a round number 9, they find a way to pull it through. It was a back-and-forth battle between both these squads, but Rebel controlling the M-Bar, controlling the E-Hill. It just worked out for him in the end.
And you know what? Well done. Again, Rebel doing such a great job adjusting towards the late game, right? Towards the mid game, they were definitely struggling. They were looking a bit off. But I tell you what, using PK's aggression against them was great. A lot to break down from this. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, then we're going to break down Asylum and then head into District. The match of the week is not disappointing at all. I'm happy Rebel was able to fight back on Asylum, win round 9 to force a game 3 on District. I was very worried after map 1 Blaze. Foundation was a beatdown 5-1 victory for PK, but it seems as if Rebel was starting to get their legs underneath them and figuring PK out. In my opinion, using PK's aggression against them towards the later rounds, I think they adjusted quite well, but maybe it doesn't boil down to just using the aggression of PK against them. What were the factors for Rebel to take this victory?
Yeah, you're right, Taylor. It doesn't come down just to that, because PK is naturally always going to be an aggressive squad. But step number 1 is matching that energy, because if you come out flat against them, or if you come out too passive, they'll run over you. So throughout this map, we started to see Rebel match the energy, match the fight, initiate some engagements rather than reacting to everything that PK threw at them. So with that confidence, Rebel was able to close out map number 2. So step number 1 was matching the pace and aggression which PK played. Rebel was able to figure that out in map number 2. Now on map number 3, they have to build off of that and force PK to play around their rotations, the plays that they create. Of course, because we're going to see Rebel, it's going to be a big 3v3 fight at Cinema, but we already saw in Asylum that PK knew how to split that up. They put the sniper down low. So we can see a similar engagement here on District towards the later portions of the map. But most importantly, if Rebel wants to win this series, they need to just keep turning up the heat, all right? Get Dezonide power weapons, initiate these fights. Even if they don't always win the fight, it needs to be the one that they want to take, not the one that they have to that they're reacting to because PK is bringing it their way and they're initiating it.
You know, I will say, you want to talk about initiating. Crack initiated a ton of big plays. He popped off in so many big moments, and during the first half was duoed with that of Demon. Demon able to get loose, get up there, do what he wanted to do in the chaotic moments, and he did not disappoint. 2 big playmakers, and you actually said Crack is well on his way to maybe being that star player for this Rebel roster, more so than that of Demon, which we're always talking about that young gun. But with that being said, I'm happy that this is going to a game 3. I would have been very disappointed if Rebel would not have won a map and were to lose 2-0. Even if they lose round 9 of Asylum, the fact that they lost 5-1 on the first map, if they would have lost 2-0, I'd have been very disappointed and would have took them a lot less serious heading into the Spring Major. But just taking a map off PK, forcing a game 3, hey, I'm happy for it. But you knew this all along. That's why you voted for him.
Yeah, I knew. I wanted a close series. I wasn't sure, but we got it, right? And now, because after that first map, I went into it with a lot of faith for Rebel, but they got smacked up losing those first 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So going into Asylum map number 2, I was unsure what we were going to see, but they fought back. And now you're right, Taylor. They are giving me the faith for them in map number 3. Folks, now is the time to cheer for who you want to win.
Yep.
Is it going to be Rebel? Is it going to be PK? Who's your favorite player? I know we got some Crack Gang, some bums out there. You know, all these players and their subscribers in their communities, come through, drop the emotes in the chat, because this last map is going to be one to remember.
I've literally never saw some bums in chat, but I love it. I absolutely. Is there an emote for that? Because there needs to be an emote for that. Hey,
I want to say, yeah, you know, Sumuns has an emote. He has a skull emote with an S. It's a really nice logo.
But that doesn't say some bums though. I need some like some, but like a peach. Like
some bums. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Alex, but I could have sworn his subscribers were called the Sun Bums.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's head into game number 3. Faith for Rebel restored, and the opportunity for them to take this series is absolutely there. Real quick caveat though, just want to point out Team Queso beats Hive on the side station 2-1. Well done from them, and Hive is actually coming up next to play against Elevate. How is that going to affect their mentality, and will they be able to step it up to beat the Elevate roster? We'll find out, but Team Queso's stock continues to go up, Blaze.
Yeah, it is going up to this man. Team Queso looking like Dodge
to the moon
right now. All right, you better get in while you can. The way that they've been playing, but back here in this series, we see the opening initial being won by PK. They were able to pick up some big kills over there towards the B hill and mid map, and now they're sitting on top of their opponent's home hill, looking to end this one.
They will end it, in fact, 56 seconds. If you blink, you missed it, and that is a solid round number 1. That's how they started off, though, when they were playing on Asylum, and who knows, they can do just the same here. But I like what I'm seeing. Will that power weapon get placed down, though? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it gets placed down earlier than later, but I guess fair enough. We'll just work our way for the shocks and the instants. But with both weapons being placed down low on bandstand, I think that's what we're going to be getting an M-bar or long shot eventually.
All right, so first power weapon going down low at bandstand. Now, the beauty about building up the bandstand placement first is that as soon as you do put a power weapon up top, the secondaries are not built up right away. So you have somewhat of an advantage. Well, you can catch up when it comes down to weapon placements, having that secondary not built up closer to the power weapon. Now, down low in this fight, Raver dodging some flash grenades. Got pressure on both sides. Demon is the focus point. You see Demon's taking some shots from player 2 in the window. So 3 people focusing there on Demon. And now PK with a man advantage. They're trying to get to their opponent's side of the map. Player 2 is going to flank. It's Dezonide flanking Identivez in the juice. That's going to allow the PK members to get to the home hill. The 1v1 is one at the B hill. And just a better initial strategy from PK. Ever since Sumuns got on his team, the one thing that he taught them was how to start the fight. If he brought anything over from the UIU dynasty or the Optic dynasty that he was a part of at that time when he left, it was how to set the pace of the round and start the fight and not react to what your opponent's throwing at you.
Sumuns being that guy. Some bums. I love. Is it sun bums or some bums? Which one is
I think
some
it's
bums?
some bums.
Some bums. Okay, fair enough. Summoned, some bums. No kills across the board for Rebel. None whatsoever. That is tough. They need to step that up. I don't want this to be looking the same way like that stat line did on Foundation. Long shot down, as I said. Better late than never. I assumed it'd be on bandstand with the Boltox being there, but it's not going to be the case. Let's fight for this long shot. Maybe this is the change of pace Rebel needed.
All right, Rebel. Demon's gonna get 10% better having to fight for that sniper rifle at the forefront. He's gonna be the only player in there. He picks it up. He backs up PK in the corner, trying to connect with a body shot. He does hit Sumuns. Raver's next on the hit list. He goes down. Pistol's out. Great work here from Demon. The back A connects, and Raver's left by himself with some shots coming in there from the flank, and they're gonna let him take his own life, as the power weapon and the neutral hill will be in favor of Rebel. This is a must-win round for him.
Absolutely must win, and they've got all the utility to make it happen. Demon with the long shot, the wig splitter. He can make it happen. He just needs to be put in the right spot. Sumuns is going to push a 1v2. Bit reckless. He's down. And there's Demon just baiting out the shots from Raver. Almost waits a little bit too long. That would have been devastating if he gets Lancered out, but he does get the body shot. That's going to force Raver back. Monkyz is hot in pursuit, and Identivez was, and that's going to be a Rebel round. Well done, and who knows? This could be the change of pace they've been needing.
Man, oh man, just as soon as that sniper goes down, it's like Rebel has purpose. They have purpose to play around. They know what they want to do. They got some plays to make around it, and they know that their chances of winning, if they can come back with that sniper rifle, increase tremendously in the hands of Demon. But Retro Lancers getting built up. PK know that if they can get that shot grenade down first, they will be able to get themselves a little bit of an advantage on one of these rounds, okay? So they're going to play off of that before they decide to put anything at the bottom portion of the map.
Yeah, fair enough. You're right. And if and this is the thing, if PK can win this round without the shock and then have the shot going into the next round, they could be up 4-2. But a bit of a reckless throw from Raver gives maybe the advantage over to Demon, walking through Sumuns, and the long shot looking to go to Demon once again, and it does. Raver, keep your head down, brother.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, especially with Demon having a wig stick in hand. Raver trapped in a corner, not much he can do. Taking shots from the left and the right. That's how you take a 2v1, folks. Just chip away at that damage, especially if you got time to, and it's early game, so Rebel's not in a rush in this moment. Dezonide able to get a kill to relieve a little bit of pressure there towards Info, but he's trapped between 2 players currently, and Rebel's feeling comfortable this is not a time for one of your teammates to stay slow down. You know, just keep building off what's working. Crack has gotten another kill. Demon has gotten one as well, and they are feeling fantastic in this round.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, it's nice to watch the giving in, but sometimes it's more entertaining to watch the receiving in because of how jarring and how quick that shot can hit and remove your head. Violent. I love it. Love it. Well, Rebel, hey, that long shot's the difference maker, brother. But now we are going into the second half, and the bandstand fight will be there. And we talked about the shock being in play for Pittsburgh Knights. Well, they're going to have it. And hopefully, I say hopefully, not because I'm showing favoritism towards PK, but I mean, I'm just hoping this makes a difference because it should. That long shot should not go into the hands of Demons with the shock in PK's hands.
Well, this is the advantage that PK has this round. And if you ask me, I think it's a big one with this power weapon on the map. They should be able to play a little bit more passively and use this shock to get an advantage. Now, Rebels, a little different strategy, a little bit more passive. They brought out the Retro Lancer. Identivez is going to be the first player towards the fight. They almost know that this is going to be a more difficult round to be able to pick up the power weapon, so they put more of their pressure towards the mid-map, and they're going for a pinch. And I love that adjustment from Rebel. Even though they were able to get one kill, you know, they still put themselves in a great position. They actually get two.
Yes, they do. This is, well, okay. I'm getting a little bit wild out there, Dezo. I appreciate, well, that's 3 shots gone. You better, there you go. Take him down. Focus now onto Kardia. He only has 2 shots remaining. Sometimes those rounds can go quick, and the advantage really, I mean, it's still in with Rebel's hands. I don't know if PK's playing. That's one more shot left. Dezo, my guy, connect on the one. Finally takes down Dezo, and Kardia's out of the way. So, I mean, I guess not all was lost, but it took a while to get there.
You know, he was mesmerized by his sniper skin on his back there. Had him in a little trance, missing a few of those shots there. But you're going to see now currently Rebel coming off the respawn. They're going to be focusing on an E-hill and possibly pushing down the bottom portion of the map. They could go for their home hill, but that's what the Knights are expecting. And it's still, we just hit the 100-point marker in this game. Rebel has enough time to play for other hills on the map, but look at the player of the Knights that went towards the spawn. So they have a player in Rebel's spawn in case anyone dies or in case they try to come back for the home hill. And I think the Knights have a fantastic defensive setup. But this is a clear focus point on the side of Rebel. Wow! Sumuns, the fact that he won that has to be just so demoralizing on the side of Rebel currently, because that should have been an easy fight for them. And I was expecting PK to take their numbers elsewhere on the other side of the map, but PK about to get this trip cap domination or at least hold the 2-to-1 hill setup for now.
You know, I've been casting with you long enough. I can tell when you're setting certain things up, and I know you were setting up for Sumuns to die there. And then I heard you pause, switch gears, and like, hold up, he wins that? What?
I was
hey, sometimes
surprised.
it'd be that way. You know, sometimes it'd be that way. But BK's got a decent lead, but I tell you what, Rebel is fighting tooth and nail to regain control. They've got about one more decent fight left in them, and Crack with the lone shot could be the difference maker as he works his way through mid. Monkyz knows he's there on the back of Sumuns. Sumuns is gone. That's 2 out of the way. If Crack can stay up here, that would be massive, and he does. That's 3 gone. Hold up, Blaze. Rebel might do this.
And this is the shock round too, right? This is the round that we said is the shock round win for PK. They're trying to find a way to win it, and they will not. All PK members in spawn. It was a 1v3 for the hill, and Rebel will survive this one.
Holy.
Man, and you know what? I got to give them credit off the initial as well, because they knew that they didn't have a good chance at picking up the sniper that round.
Yeah, they took the objective.
Instead, they pushed through the lower lanes, through mid-map, and through the first half home hill. And because they did that, they picked up 2 kills, and they were able to keep the map off balance a little bit. And coming off respawn and pushing down low towards the E-hill and not giving PK the fight they wanted at F was a great play that ended up leading to the final few kills that we saw come through at the end on top of the home hill for them to be able to win the round.
Wow, this is pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie, Rebel is impressing me. That foundation, I don't know what happened on that foundation map. I truly don't, to lose 5-1, but but the sniper gives them. They have been unstoppable since that's actually, yeah, they've won what 3 straight rounds since the sniper was placed. Phenomenal work.
And you know, they probably would have got it on foundation if it wasn't the last round. You know,
oh, nice shot.
That was a beautiful body shot. He can't roll back because of the shock, but even Sumuns hits him with the wrap, and those are 2 kills coming through for PK. They're gonna be able to find this kill on Kardia, but it was a great great initial for them. I gotta give them credit for winning now. When the sniper got backpacked as well, they're gonna decap the home hill, and now they can set up across the map. No power weapon in play currently.
So PK needs a little bit of defensive work here. And are setting up the deuce, so they've got a lot of presence on E. They want to prioritize this neutral fight. Monkyz going to be able to catch numbers out. Dezo has the retro to kind of be that flex player, whether it be on E or maybe even on player 6 or player 8 if they decide to go mid. Rebel's going to have to find an opening here. It starts by getting an elimination in Bandstand. That's going to be on Monkyz. Utility's out. Kardia's going for the push. The smoke is in. Does Kardia stick this decap? Yeah, he's going to. He has teammates to be. No, they don't. PK still has it in the control. Kardia is going to be down. Tough spot. But even so, they still have the man advantage in this position, and Identivez will finally get the break. Sumuns is going to be now in a tough spot, being sandwiched between 2 Rebel members. But he's been playing so well, you can't count him out. Forcing the issue onto Demon. Now choosing to backtrack. Demon now rotates around. Crack is out of the way. Monkyz pushes in. Demon is gone. Crack now in a tough spot. Will he be finished off? He will not. Monkyz is going to be there to finish off the one, and he gets the second on Kardia, and Identivez on the last one standing onto Rebel. He's out of the way, and just like that, 4 gone, and PK looking to pressure forward.
PK getting a decap at the E hill and the D hill, looking to get us all tied up 3-3. Demon goes for it. The decap doesn't come through. He buys his team just an extra second, but they needed 2. We're all tied up 3-3. And if I told you guys when we entered the map that this was going to be one that we were going to remember between these 2 squads, and so far, man, it's looking like it's geared to go the distance. We'll see how these next few weapon placements play out. I'm curious to see if we see PK maybe put an M-bar down low at Bandstand.
I'm thinking they do.
Going into now, one of these, maybe it's the final round, because the comeback block has to happen in round number 8 by the winning team.
This is a fine group of soldiers we've got here.
Yeah, I think Rebel places. I think Rebel places the M-bar round 9 if we get to that point. Like you said, the disable should come out round 8. Doesn't matter who takes the victory. PK a little bit more aggressive. The shock is out. Raver is up. Thank goodness he gets out in time. Crack, though, will drop Raver. But even so, still a 4v4. A lot riding on this initial, and both teams understand this. And Demon is hungry to get in there, get the wig splitter, and make some magic happen. But you got to get through Raver first. Identivez goes for a quick poke. He's going to be dropped off. There's Raver push up. He doesn't just yet. The opportunity to get the pick is there. Raver's going to take it, and he gets it. Fires a shot off to just keep Rebel's heads down, and he gets out in time. Now, Rebel still wants to force the issue here. They've got to be careful. They don't want to lose too many members, but Identivez takes down Dezo.
Yeah, the fact that Identivez got that kill was huge, but they should be able to get one more in this engagement. Raver's coming up short for some of these shots. But this is also where Rebel can't get too overzealous with these kills in a corner, but they feel like they should be theirs. This player has to revive, and he goes down. Identivez was in a position to make a play, but he just could not hit the final shot to get his team a second kill there.
Nobody has a neutral as of yet. PK does have presence there with 2 members. That's forcing Kardia back, and that should give this hill over to the boys up. Pittsburgh Knights finally stopping, or at least finishing and completing the long-winded initial between these 2 rosters. You can tell Rebel, though, is not going to let this hill go easily. 3 strong. Kardia already pressing Monkyz back out of Bandstand, taking a position for himself. He's not healthy there. Sumuns is still in, and Sumuns needs to get this finish, and he does. So that's going to be a decent sacrifice. Monkyz needed to get... Oh, and he does get the trade. Kardia, last one standing, though, and PK doesn't have any presence. That's going to be a retake for Rebel. But PK does have a 30-point lead, but they got to get a touch. Raver, you got to get in there, buddy. Get the touch. Push hard. Do not let him do it. And Demon gets the kill. Is that it?
That's it. Oh, we got another fight. We got another fight. Can he get the 4-piece? He got to reload. Wasn't expecting it, but it's there. And Rebel is going to get to series point. What a comeback from them in that round. To be able to get those kills, fight back, get towards the home hill, and close it out, man. Rebel, they want this, and ever since that snipe went down, they got purpose. I have to assume that a power weapon goes down bandstand. I think that is PK's win condition. They might not see it this round, but you know what? PK don't have to use their block right now. If they do put the power weapon down low, it doesn't matter about blocking the shot grenades because you have to play for it. It needs to. Nobody will have time to get shot grenades if you put a power weapon down low. Ultimately, they will save their block for the last round.
Well, I was going to say, too, on top of that, you're right. Splitting up that fight does kind of nullify the shock. It doesn't have as much impact. You give the long shot to them, but you have the instant if you're a PK member, which helps you for the fight on bandstand. But this is all hearsay. They don't do it. They go for both disables.
I think they could have saved the block for the last round.
I think it would have been a good play.
Crucial, but they would have had to have faith in this fight, and they fought this fight for the last 6 rounds. Don't want to switch it up just yet. They probably have a winning strategy, and it could be in help of bribing Identivez for team kills, possibly get them back on the team. In the end, it is going to be a 3-man wipe on the side of Rebel in favor of PK, and they're looking for a trip cap domination.
Man, just cut the suspense. End it now, I guess. Yeah. Let's go to round 9, Blaze. That was 34 seconds. Wow. I expected that to be more dramatic than it was, but hey, it is what it is. These guys just want to push the button and get it over with.
Cut that check. They was like, hey, man, shoot him in the back. Shoot him in the back, man.
I tell you what, this has been a great series, Blaze.
Shoot him in the back.
Who are you bribing over there? Who are you looking to bribe?
You know, Dezonide is there. I'm just saying.
Hey, stop, Blaze.
All jokes aside.
Yeah. There's the M-bar.
To the round number 9, all right?
Stupid, man. I'm going to let you handle your own.
And the power weapon did get placed.
Okay. M-bar's down. What do we get over here? It's got to be the ensign. So we already know Demon of it. I think they're just taking this time, talk it out. Round 9, what do we do? What's the game plan? How do we split up here? And that's a big question you have to have. You have 2 very decisive fights. Not only is the long shot being fought for, but because you're splitting up the forces, now whoever wins the long shot can go for the OE, get the decap, and naturally the 2v2 down low for the M-bar. Whoever wins that gets their hands on the neutral. So a lot going down, and for Demon to drop off, that is a huge win for Raver. The ensigns are out of the way. Identivez is hightailing it out of that engagement. You have the 1v on the other side. Player 8 crack is going to fall. Sumuns wins the long shot. So the M-bar and the long shot and the initial in the way of PK, and they're going in for the domination. This might be over with very quickly.
Yeah, it just might be. They got all the weapons in which they want to close this round out on top of the F-Hill. This is an epic round number 9 between both these squads, folks. Rebel just trying to find a way to survive, but multiple long-range weapons looking across the map. It's snipers, it's M-bars, a 4v3 on the map. Kardia goes down, and PK finds a way to close this one out in the round 9.
PK does close it out. 2-1 overall series or map count. And hey, PK are your victors, and more importantly, the top Latin American team in the scene, the top team in the Pro League in general. They take over the first league spot and drop Rebel down a notch. But let me say this. I did not expect to go to a round 9, game 3 after Foundation. When Rebel lost 5-1, to Pittsburgh Knights, I was thinking this series is going to be over with quickly. But give us 2 back-to-back round 9s on Asylum and then also on District. Things took a wild turn. Rebel takes the L and they do drop down. Do I think Pittsburgh Knights is the #1 team? Absolutely. They earned it. But let me tell you something, Blaze. Rebel is a serious force to be reckoned with heading into the Spring Major.
Rebel put up a damn good fight today. A damn good fight. It's just that when it comes down to closing out that last round there, it's just a little bit of a blunder. It was a 50-50 fight in that final round, just like how we saw in Asylum, where Rebel came out on top. This time around, it was PK coming out on top with a better strategy, having an M-bar and a sniper rifle both on the map. It was a good one. It was back and forth battle there, but I know the team kill that Identivez had, he just hates that one.
Yeah, he definitely does. This play from Sumuns making you change your train of thought after that one. This was, I mean, seriously, and I'm going to state it again because I mean it. I'm very proud of Rebel. Yes, they do drop down a notch. I know they're not satisfied with taking an L, But if you think about the route they've had from phase 1 to phase 2, from phase 1 being so close to being relegated, I mean, that was just, you look at the star-studded roster when Rebel was created, and to almost hit relegation, it was a disaster. It was absolutely not what they wanted. And even amidst the playoffs, not having a good performance. But then you look at how they've been able to flip the script and change just the way they look entirely, to even hold the #1 spot, to go to a game 3, round 9. Like, it's night and day. And I know Rebel isn't happy with L, but once again, I'm happy with their performance. Quite truthfully, this series was incredible.
Yeah, it really was incredible. 5-4 map number 2, 5-4 map number 3. If Rebel could get off to a better start in Foundation, maybe got warmed up just a little bit more, maybe we see something different. Again, it was close.
No.
They had the opportunity, right? They had the opportunity.
I agree, yeah. They had the opportunity. They were warm, though. They were warm and ready to go, Blaze. And
BK is the better team today. That is just clear and dry as that. They are the best team in the Pro League. They have earned a #1 spot. And giving Rebel that second loss there. So Rebel gets bumped down to #2. But it was a great matchup between both of these squads, man. And we got to see 2 maps at 5-4. And that's what we wanted to see the first time these squads played.
Yeah, I think overall, whether it be the main station match that we just witnessed or even the side station match we didn't have a chance to see, Team Queso beating Hive, that is a huge storyline pushing into the spring major. There's a lot going on, and I'm happy for it. It's not just the same cut and dry storylines we've had throughout all of the majors and all of the splits. No, things are starting to heat up and get interesting, and that's exactly what we want, especially as commentators. We want to be able to tell the story to all of you out there. But good series overall. Congratulations to Pittsburgh Knights, and honestly, congratulations to Rebel taking the L, but proving to me personally they are a force to be reckoned with.